Greeting everyone. Today I am with Sandra Walk from Ontario, Canada. Thank you so much, Sandra Walks, for joining my show and give me your valuable 25 minutes to me and my audience and for Pakistani people. Here is my first question with you. Where were you? Who were surrounded with that inspired you to do what you do today?
Thank you so much for having me, Dolat. It's lovely that we're on two opposite sides of the world and yet able to be together here in Zoom, which I think likely goes lovely with your Institute of Peace. Who am I today is the compassionate queen of straight talk. I don't know how else to be anything else because I like to be direct and speak what I have to say, but always with compassion. The journey was long and difficult. As you can see, I'm got a few decades under my belt, a lot of decades. I'm old. And finding out who we are is the greatest journey we'll ever take. So learning about myself as a child, learning about myself as a student, and then as a mother, and then as a career, that whole journey is what makes me who I am today. And so today, I've been a financial advisor for 40 years. I've been in Toastmasters for 30 years. And I've been going to prison for 17 years as a volunteer working with inmates. Life is who has made me what I am today. That and my curiosity. I'm always curious. Why? Oh, can I try that? Why? I can't hear you. You're muted.
Yeah. I request you please this question answer I need in detail. Where were you? Who were surrounded with that inspired you to do what you did and what you do now?
You're insisting on a very precise question. Again, I think my own personality pushes me and pulls me along to be more of who Sandra is. I don't think we can ever just look at one person. I mean, if we had to look at one person, my mother formed me in her womb. My mother and father together raised me. But it was the teachers that followed and the community that followed. I don't believe there's just one person. If we were to say, well, who would have been your role model? I could think of my school teacher in my elementary days, Margaret Chase. Huge difference in my life. I could think of John, I can't think of his last name at the moment, in the life insurance business, John Savage. And he was an influence in my life. So we can look at all the different influences. Toastmasters has been a huge difference in my life. And that's why I say you can't just nail it down to one person and who made the difference. I think I have made the difference being curious and being me and latching on to different people along the way to say, oh, I want some of that. I want some of that. I want some of that. And other people have done that to me, where they say, Sandra, I don't know what you've got, but I want some of that. I want some of that calmness. I want some of that adventure. So I don't believe there's one person that molded me. It's been a whole community and a whole world that has molded me. Next question.
My next question with you, what are you are thankful for today?
Oh, what am I thankful for today? That is so easy. Do you see me? I'm in a time when I can put pink in my hair and make people laugh. When I don't have the pink here, I don't even feel as alive. It's a beautiful time to be alive. And being alive means living full. I've had lots of tears. I've done lots of crying. I've lots of hard times. But every time we get up and look around and say, oh, the sun is shining, the grass is growing, isn't it a wonderful life? That's what keeps me going. It's not about what I don't have. It's being grateful for the love and the joy and the fun in my life that I do have, and the challenges that made me who I am, and the curiosity to keep growing. So what am I grateful for? I'm grateful for all of those things, especially that I like to sing. I like to be silly. I like living, because another time the tears will come, but there's always a way to rise up. That's what I'm grateful for.
Thank you so much for expressing your deep feeling to me and my audience. Here is my next question with you. What do you want? What do you want when you grow up?
I'm sorry, why do I?
My question is, what do you want to do when you grow
You mean when I grow up some more? You forget I'm already old, but I don't know what I'm going to be when I grow up yet, because I'm not finished. I have been 40 years financial planner. I'm continuing with Toastmasters and speaking. I've expanded into coaching and, as you know, teaching people to speak up with confidence, ease, and flow. And I want to develop that more. I love traveling around the world, lots of times in real and physical, and all the time in Zoom, all over the world, like in Pakistan today, and I'm in Canada. That's amazing. So what do I want to be when I grow up? Is I want to spread the wisdom that this old gal has learned and continues to learn. And I want to help other people open their minds, just peel it open and live. So I'm going to continue to spread my wisdom and help people change their minds.
Thank you so much for sharing your feeling. Here is my follow-up question with your answer. Your answer question is, uh, what Toastmaster bring you?
If you have a chance to go to Toastmasters, it can change your life. Anything can change your life. I use can, because whatever you choose to step into, if you choose to go in and work the program and learn and stretch, it's going to change your life. Toastmasters is a worldwide organization in over 200 countries, I believe it is, and 200,000 members. And we learn to speak. Now, I used to be a school teacher long, long ago, and people would say, Sandra, you're a teacher. Why would you go to Toastmasters? Well, when I went to Toastmasters and started, I was able to experiment, because before that, you were expected to do it in the behaved way. Toastmasters let me express myself and experiment and play with words and speech and different ways of showing up in the world. I've been in Toastmasters now for 30 years, and I still keep growing. I grow within my leadership. I grow within communication and speaking, thinking off the top. I listen really well now and give evaluation, critique, help others find better ways. So Toastmasters is really all about learning leadership, how to run a meeting, how to lead people, and communication and better listening. It can change your life, and they're all over the world. So I invite you to check them out and join.
Thank you so much. I really curious to join Toastmaster and learn from that network also. Here is my next question with you. I also curious to know, with your quote written or your profile, speak up with flow. What does that mean?
Ease and flow. When we worry about how we're being looked at, how we're reaching other people, when we worry about what are other people thinking about us, that means we are not in ourselves. That means we're worrying about, oh, what's out there? What do they want me to do? What's the worry? What? Instead of just be me. When you asked me to come and speak, I just needed to know what ideas you had in mind, and then I can settle about who I am. And that's why these answers are just off the cuff. I'm not trying to dream them up, because I am me and I can speak as me. That means I'm real, I'm authentic, I'm Sandra. And when I'm going to just stop and take my time to think about where I want to go with my talk, then it will flow out to the audience. So making it easy and letting it flow is to be yourself. Not worry about, well, I wonder what Dolop's going to want me to say. Doesn't matter. He asked me a question. I can answer my question my way. So I can do it authentically, easy, and flow.
Thank you so much for expressing how we can speak with flow and ease. Here is my next question with you. What is your plan to achieve your goal that is now is exist?
My goals are to reach more and more people all around the world. With that, I accept talking to you there in Pakistan. I will be giving a talk in India next week. I'm going to be the MC of another program in India this weekend. I belong to a club that has members from 16 countries all over the world. So my goals and how I'm achieving them is to keep reaching out to people all over the world, to keep being Sandra, to keep expressing myself and welcoming people so that we come together and understand each other. That will allow the wisdom to grow.
Who is your mentor and what his influence on you?
My mentor at this moment, I guess, would be my Toastmaster Club, my own Toastmaster Club, the executive. There are members there who see that I'm working on a high performance leadership project, and they are helping me with it. So I would say that it's my executive at the Toastmasters at this time. Mentors are changing all the time. When it was for life insurance, it was John Savage. And he would expand my mind and say, you know, one day people are going to be too dead, too sick, too old. I thought, well, I'll never be able to say that. But because he was my mentor and my role model, I tried it. And he's absolutely right. I can learn from everybody and use those little statements. Currently, like I say, it would be my own personal Toastmaster Club, my own home club, we call it, and the executive that's helping me complete this high performance leadership project. But the mentors are always going to be changing.
Thank you so much. We always need to learn from everyone. Here is my learning from you, and here is my next question with you. What advice would you give to someone younger than you?
Well, there's a lot of people younger than me. The biggest piece of advice is to decide that life is worth living. Don't sit around wondering when somebody's going to do something for you. Get out there and do something for someone else. That's the biggest thing, is when we are in service to other people. We can't be worrying about, oh, isn't it awful? We don't need to live in an, oh, isn't it awful world. We choose. You choose how you're going to have an attitude for the day. I choose my attitude. We all choose how we're going to act in any moment. With that choice means I'm going to go out and see how I can help someone else. And with that helping someone else, I feel better. And yes, I can be paid for that as well. We go to the grocery store to buy groceries. We do trade our money for the food. But they are serving us because we can go there and get it. And we all have to make a living. So remembering to go out and serve. And for me to serve up what you need, that's okay for me to also be paid for that. So there's a balance in life. There's a balance. Much of what I do, I give away. But I also have to make a living. So that's where I find that the balance has to be. I deliver value. I get paid so I can go out and pay somebody else for something else I need. That's the barter.
Yeah, it is really okay. We also need to add value in some way in other people, and then we need something, then we can buy from that also. This cycle also rotate from one person to another person. Here is
That's
my
right.
next. Here is my next question with you. What are the top three reasons why people fail?
The top, I'm sorry, I missed your words there. What are the top?
What are the top three reasons why do people fail?
Why do people fail? The top
Yeah.
three reasons? That's beautiful. If we don't try something, that's the failure. So if we try something and it doesn't work, there's a failure. What do we do with the failure? The top problem with a failure is that people say, oh, that didn't work, I'm a failure. And they decide to stay there. So your top reason that people fail is that they fail, like all of us do when we try something new, but they forget to get up and do it again and find a new way to do it. If we stop and think about the little baby starts crawling and falls and hits their nose, they get back up and they start crawling and fall and hit their nose. Could you imagine if we, when we were babies, had just given up and failed and just laid there? That's failure. But when you just fall over and you say, oh, I'm going to try that again, and away you go, that's success. Now, we might fall over a few times getting to that success, but that's okay. So the biggest three reasons people fail is they fall over and stay there. They fall over and try 2 or 3 times. They fall over and keep thinking, well, if I just keep doing it the same way over and over and over and over and over and over again, it has to work. Well, being crazy, insanity, is doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting it to be different result. You have to adjust. Even the little baby getting up on their hands and knees said, oh, if I don't keep going that way, I'm going to fall over again. So if the baby just did the same thing over and over and over, they'd just keep falling over exactly the same way. But that's not what's happening. They feel the shift. They balance themselves on 2 knees and 2 hands. And then they decide how to get up. You know, if they just try it with 1 hand and fall, oh, that's not working, I'll try 2 hands. So they keep trying until they find the way, but we always have to adjust. So that's the first fault, is people fall over and say, oh, I'm done. And then they expect others to look after them. The next is they do the same thing over and over and over and over again, expecting something new. Success comes doing the failures, doing the adjustment, doing it again until you've got the success that you're looking for.
Here is my next question with this answer follow up, and that is how to break bad habits that doing same thing again and again.
How to break that pattern?
How to break that pattern?
Okay, yes. Doing that over and over and over. Don't you get bored if you did the same thing over and over and over and you kept falling over? Oh, let's do that again. Let's fall. Don't you get bored? How do you break the pattern? You get tired of being bored. You say, oh, let me see how to do it over there. Maybe Dolat knows another way. Dolat, how have you made this work? Mom, how have you made this work? employer, how did you get this to work? And so you collect different ideas and you keep trying to fix it until you find a new way that works with you. That's how you break it. You choose, you decide, this isn't working. I better go learn from other people that have already figured it out. Then I don't have to try as many times because Dolat already knows how to stand up at the table and I'm still falling over. So I'll go and see how, he's using two hands. You go and ask people who already know how to do what it is you want to do, to learn. And when you learn, you're there and available to help people coming behind you to also learn. But you decide. The whole thing is you choose. You choose.
Yeah, here is my next question. If someone don't know that they have bad habits and they are doing again same thing, so what is the solution for them?
Well, I think if you have bad habits and it's going around and around and around and around, and somebody says, will you stop? Dolat, stop. You're going around in circles. Stop. Make a decision. Where are you going to go? If people stop you and say that, then you have to listen. I keep hearing that from all these people that I really annoy them because I keep doing this thing over and over and complaining about the same thing. And many people are saying, I don't like that. However they're saying it. Like, get over yourself, whatever it is. So when you keep doing something over and over and a lot of people keep telling you, stop, listen and stop. Find a new way. We're doing it to ourselves. We have to stop and listen. When we're in Toastmasters, we get evaluations on everything we speak. So if I do a little speech and somebody said, you had something in your teeth, it looked like vegetables or something. And I think, no, what do they know? And the second person says, you had something in your teeth. Really? The third person tells you got something in your teeth. Go and brush your bloody teeth. Stop it. Listen to people. If it's once, it might be a personality. If it's twice, I wonder. 3 times, go and fix it.
Thank you so much for guiding this detailed answer, how we can break bad habits if we know and if we don't know. Here is my next question with this answer that people lack focus. How they give, how you give them solution to stay focused.
Staying focused, again, is up to you. You have to want it badly enough to stay focused. Why are you doing it? Are you just doing it to please somebody else? Are you going to a job that you really don't like just so you can have the money and the paycheck? Why? Why are you doing it? If you're not doing it for a good reason, one that moves you, in other words, if you don't care about what you're doing, well, I just have to go and do that job because I want some money so I can go and get a game and play some games. What's that? You're not going to be focused. But if it's something you care about, such as you doing your interviews, this is something that you like to do. I would say it's even more than that. It's a passion. You love to learn from people from all over the world. That's the Institute of Peace. You're passionate about it. You care. And so with that, you don't need anybody to tell you to get focused. You know you're always going to want to have interesting people that you can interview. And so you're going to keep watching for them and collecting them. I don't know how much money you're getting paid for this, but there's a passion in there. You're loving it, and that's going to keep you focused.
Thank you so much for giving me detailed answer how we and my audience can focus on their passion and what they love to do, what I love to do. Here is my next question with you. If someone doing what they love to do if this apply on me also, if they're seeing pushy and attractive things that can attract them their sides, for example money, for example something other materialistic things, so how they can stop them from these attractive things?
I'm not sure I got all of your question. I think what you're talking about is sometimes we can be pushy because we need to get paid. And so we go and do our work and we'll say, well, you need to pay me this much. And it's pushed. Or somebody else might say, well, I've got this great idea and I want to sell you this great idea and I think you should buy it. And they're pushing at you to buy it. Am I on the right track here? Is that what you're talking about? What do we do when we're getting pushy? Well, quite often, if you and I are getting pushy, we've crossed a line in our own head. Because if we're passionate with what we do, it's not going to be for every single person. We have to offer it, and those who want it are going to come, and those who don't want it are going to leave. But we can't take the ones that are going to leave and keep chasing them down the road and say, come back, come back, come back. You need this, and I want to make another sale. I've got to make another sale this week. So there's so many things going on in our heads at any one point that we have to remember to stay in service. We have to make the offer. And we also sometimes have to build healthy boundaries around ourselves. If somebody is just worried about making some money and pushing a sale on us so they can run away somewhere else, we have to set a healthy boundary and say, look, I hear what you're saying. I don't need any bubbles to blow at the moment. Thank you very much. Oh, but these are special bubbles. I don't need any bubbles at the moment. Thank you very much. But these bubbles are magic. They're going to make, I don't need any bubbles at the moment. Thank you very much. So that would be a boundary so that they get the idea to go. And sometimes you just have to cut them loose. But you have to do it in a compassionate way with a boundary.
Sandra, great examples you gave me to stop from pushy things and offerings, and my audience also learning from this detailed answer. Here is my next question with you on your screen, and I am also standing you. What is your greatest failure story, and what did you learn, and how did you recover from it?
My disaster story? Probably my worst story that has affected me the most in my life. I mean, there were lots of little things while we were growing up where we as children decide how we're going to cope and survive, even as children. And so we wrap different ideas on ourselves. And we're not aware that we do it. So when I had my biggest breaking point was when I went through the divorce. The divorce was huge because I had tried everything. I had been the best mom. I was superwoman. I was, I just went through and I worked so hard on being a good mom and a good wife, and nothing was enough. And I broke and went through a divorce. That was the hardest time in my life. I was probably going towards it for 2 or 3 years and then made the decision finally. And then it took another 3 years to finish it. So we think, oh, here, I'm getting a divorce. You think that's one day, married one day, not married the next day. But indeed, those big events probably take 5 and 6 years of your life. Getting to decide on it and then getting it cleaned up. That was the biggest. My journey since then has to be understanding, why did I do that? Now I can go back and back and back and back. As a child, I was raised by a family in a time when society said you get married and you do it forever and you get your house and you have your children and you serve your husband. So naturally, that's what I moved into, but I'm too strong an independent woman. I can't be told what to do all the time. And so that eventually broke out. But indeed, it was from this childhood learning. There's so much that we have decided as little children and wrapped ourselves in, and then here we are as big adults, and we're still living by those child rules. That's the biggest journey we have, is to stop being a child, using the child rules in our adult life. It's a tough lesson to crack, but it's worth it.
Thank you. You express your personal life story to us so we can also take care of personal life this way. Here is my next question with you. What are your 3 success secrets that others can model from?
Say it one more time.
Yeah. Only three to four questions, then we can wrap up this session.
But I didn't hear your
You understand?
question.
Yeah. Here is my question is, what are your 3 success secrets that others can model from you?
Oh, my 3 success secrets. I don't know that any of them are secrets, but certainly my success has come in my journey to ease and flow, to making life easy and letting it flow. It hasn't been easy. It sounds simple, but it's not easy. You have to do the work. So my success has come from going through the pain, going through the crying and the tears, and going through peeling away and peeling away to understand what my little child had come up with for rules that I was still living by here. So my biggest success would be unwrapping those childhood rules and making sure I keep the ones that are appropriate for me as the adult. The second big success is loving me. We must love ourselves, because if we don't love ourselves, how can we love anyone else? If I am beating myself up and thinking I'm such a bad person, and that's what I think is going to be loving for you, I'm going to be over there beating you up thinking you're a bad person, because that means love to me. That goes crazy. We must love ourselves first and take our loving self out into the world. When I just have to be Sandra, I don't have to think about, well, what's Dulot going to expect from me today? I'm not worried about that, other than what the question line is going to be, because it'll just be Sandra. Now, you can decide just to take it down and not even use the interview. Is that going to hurt me? No. Why? Because I'm being Sandra. So that's your second success. The third success is to just go out and live. Whatever we have around us to do, be present with it. When we finish here, I'll be going for a haircut. I'm not going to be worrying about, did I get everything done? Oh, how did I answer that question? I'm not going to worry about that anymore. I'm doing my best right now. And when the interview is done, the interview is done. And then I will move into, time to drive over to the next town and get my hair cut. Living in the present moment. That's what that's called. Being present. Don't worry about yesterday. Don't worry about tomorrow. Live right now.
Thank you so much. What motivates you within? Here is my question. What motivates you within?
What motivates me within is the joy of loving myself. Looking at the parts where I didn't used to love myself. That little girl inside that was crying because I had left her alone. I had abandoned her and said, you're just being silly. You go sit down there and be quiet. I was saying all the things to myself, even after I was no longer with mom and dad, that mom and dad would say. I was disciplining myself. And that's not a very happy place to be. I instead was able to go back and find that little girl inside me that wanted to have a hug and a laugh, wanted to learn, wanted to travel. And so the little girl is now me. We're all one person. The little girl is in me, and we go and play And then the big me says, oh, let's look after the dinner here and get the house cleaned up. And the little one comes along and says, yeah, well, let's have fun doing it. That's my success.
Thank you so much. Here is my question with you. What is your company and compassionate straight talk motto?
My motto for compassionate straight talk, the speak up with ease and flow, get your confidence, be connected, all of that stuff. My motto is you can do it and I can help. I don't do it for you. You can do it and I can help you. But the work is you still have to do the work. I've had to do my work. We each have to do our work, but I can help you and guide you along. So it's, you can do it. I can help. That's my motto.
Thank you so much. Here is my question. Who is your ideal client?
My ideal client is women who have swallowed their voices. They have swallowed their voice. I swallowed my voice up until I got divorced. What that meant was that I was not speaking up for myself. I was not speaking up for others. I was doing what others expected of me, what I thought they were expecting of me, because I don't know what they were expecting. I'm not a mind reader. So my ideal client are women probably from 40 to 60 who are doing presentations, speaking, teaching, whatever. They're moving up in the world and they have swallowed their own voice and need to bring out their real voice. And that's going to make their presentations and their speaking and their coaching and the teaching real, positive, authentic, and ease and flow. So swallowed their voices, but they're ready to speak up.
How do you find them?
Well, now there's a challenge because I'm new to the digital marketing, but I keep putting myself out there. How did you find me? You say, oh, there's somebody interesting looking. So hopefully they will find me the same way. And of course, then I go out and do events where people can come to a webinar and a workshop, that type of thing.
Only referrals or something else? Cold outreaching and social media?
Yes, social media is quite a challenge because everybody worries about, oh, how many people are liking me? It's not about how many people are liking me, how many people are resonating and want to work with me. Where am I going to find those people? And then let them know what I do. I have to make the offer and help them understand if they have swallowed their voice, now it's time to find their voice and use it. So I don't have a quick answer for you for that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You have team for this task? Yeah, you do your own self.
No, I do it myself. I'm very much interactive where I would be saying, Dolat, I didn't quite get that word. Here's how you say it. And would be very much in and out interacting. Nobody else is going to be able to do that. I am looking at building up a team in terms of a VA to help with some of the social media and getting the people ready for the workshop. But I will do my own workshop always.
Thank you so much, Sandra, for giving me your 40 minutes valuable time to give your wisdom and insights that absolutely needed for us. And here is my question: how was your experience?
With Dolat? My experience with Dolat? You're lovely. You're kind and gentle. I love your smile. The questions, you did let me know what kind they were. I had a little trouble understanding what the questions were by time. and that's why, somebody like you and I would work together and work that out. So overall, a lovely experience. Thank you for asking me. And I certainly hope that this interview is useful to your people in the Institute of Peace, that people are able to find some wisdom in there and make changes for themselves.
Thank you so much. How can I help you?
How can you help me? Well, you can certainly let people know that however you were finding me. How did you find me? Did you find me useful? Did you find the wisdom there? So maybe going on and put a little review on and say, Sandra just came on and interviewed, and so you can go into my Facebook page or my LinkedIn and do a little review.
Definitely, I will do tomorrow this will and make a review video for you also and test it on all social media channels, LinkedIn also. And here is my last question with you. How likely is that you will recommend our Institute of Peace interview series to your friends and colleagues?
I will be sharing this video once you send me a link and say, here it is. I will share it out to my own pages as well. So that will get spread in that way. In terms of being an instrument of peace, I am an instrument of peace. That's what I do and who I be. And I really am impressed with the whole idea of your Institute of Peace.
Thank you so much, Sandra. Here is 42 minutes already completed, and I am not waste your another minutes, another time. And here we wrap up our session. And for your information, this interview series name is Institute of Peace and supported by Rehan Foundation, established in Karachi, Pakistan. And his founder name is Rehan Allawala. I think you know.
Right, right. Thank you.
You know Rehan Allawala?
I have met a few from that institute. I haven't got them all straight in my mind because it's a long time now since.
Okay, thank you so much, and thank you so much, audience who are watching this and watch again. And here we wrap up our session and giving your lot. Thank you to you, Sandra, and we are now giving up.